The ship trembled as it pushed through the asteroid field. Sergeant Samantha Fox gripped her weapon tighter and looked at the strange crew around her. Half were human soldiers like her. The other half were purple-skinned aliens called Nexusians. They had 6 eyes and moved with unusual grace. Their presence still felt strange after only 3 months of alliance. Nora, the tallest Nexusian female, stood next to Samantha. Her silver hair floated slightly despite the ship's artificial gravity. Her 6 eyes blinked in sequence as she studied the star map. "We should reach the human colony in 6 hours." Nora said, her voice musical and soft. "The Void Eaters attacked without warning. We might still find survivors." Samantha nodded, though she doubted. The Void Eaters rarely left survivors. They were shadow beings who consumed organic matter and left only dust. The war had raged for 2 years before the Nexusians offered their help. Their technology and unique abilities had turned the tide, but trust remained fragile. Captain Peter's voice came over the comm system. "All personnel prepare for possible combat. Nexusian ambassadors report to the bridge." Nora gave Samantha a look that seemed almost sad before leaving the weapons bay. Samantha watched her go, still unsure how to read Nexusian expressions. Their faces had subtle movements humans often missed. Later that night, after her shift ended, Samantha returned to her quarters, tired and worried. The colony they approached was where her cousin lived. She tried not to think about what they might find there. She stripped off her armor and fell into bed, sleep claiming her almost immediately. She woke to a soft sound in her room, hand reaching for her weapon. She sat up quickly, heart pounding. The dim emergency lighting cast red shadows across her small quarters. A figure stood by the door, tall and slender, with faintly glowing purple skin. "Nora, what are you doing here?" Samantha demanded, not lowering her weapon. Nora blinked rapidly, all 6 eyes moving in different patterns. "I made an error. This ship design confuses me. I thought these were my assigned quarters." Samantha frowned. Nexusians had perfect spatial awareness. Everyone in the fleet knew that. "They never got lost. Try again," Samantha said. "Why are you really here?" Nora seemed to shrink slightly, her shoulders dropping. "I wanted to speak with you privately. I have been watching you since we joined forces. You fight with honor. You treat my people with respect. Not all humans." Samantha lowered her weapon slightly but remained cautious. The Nexusians were still mysterious to humans. Their culture, their biology, their true intentions all remained partially unknown. "What did you want to speak about?" Nora moved closer, her movement fluid like water. "I sense something in you. Something my people call the brave spirit. You carry sadness, yet you fight with hope. This colony we approach, someone you care for is there." Samantha felt exposed. How could Nora know about her cousin? She hadn't told anyone. "My cousin," Samantha admitted, "he has a wife and child there." Nora nodded. "I thought as much. We have ways of sensing connections. My people feel the connections between all living things. It is how we navigate the stars. It is how I found myself drawn to your quarters despite my claim of being lost." The ship's alarm suddenly blared, red lights flashing more intensely. "All personnel report to battle stations. Void Eater ships detected approaching colony. Prepare for combat." Samantha jumped up, grabbing her uniform. Nora did not move. "You need to get to the bridge," Samantha said as she quickly dressed. Nora shook her head. "My place is with the fighters. I requested transfer to Combat Division yesterday. Captain Peters approved it." Samantha paused, surprised. "Are you trained for combat?" Nora made a sound like soft bells, her version of laughter. "My people look delicate to you, but we have fought the Void Eaters longer than humans have existed. We have ways of fighting them you have not yet seen." They rushed to the deployment bay together, joining other soldiers preparing for battle. The ship's weapons officer handed Nora a modified pulse rifle designed to work with Nexusian biology. She handled it with obvious familiarity. The ship shuddered as it came out of light speed. The colony appeared on the main view screen, a small settlement on a rocky planet, defense systems still active, which gave Samantha hope. But dark shapes moved across the surface, Void Eaters already beginning. Their Harvest Captain Peter's voice came through clear and determined deployment in 3 minutes. Teams assigned as follows. Alpha Team secure the North Quadrant. Beta Team, the Central Settlement. Gamma Team, the South Mining Operation. Rescue any survivors. Priority 1. Extract colony. Data cores. Priority 2. All teams have Nexusian support. I repeat. All teams have Nexusian support. Samantha checked her gear. One last time, then looked at Nora, who would be joining her team. The Nexusian woman stood tall, her body seeming to vibrate with energy. Her 6 eyes focused intently forward. We will find your family if they survive. Nora said softly, only for Samantha to hear. We will bring them home. The deployment bay doors opened, revealing the rocky surface. Below, dropships waited to take them down. Samantha felt the familiar rush of pre-battle adrenaline, but something else too. A strange comfort in having Nora beside her. As they boarded the dropship, Samantha noticed something odd about Nora's skin. The purple seemed to be darkening, becoming almost black in places. Nora caught her looking. We have ways of fighting the Void Eaters that require transformation, she explained. My skin absorbs light now. When we face them, I will be your greatest weapon. The dropship engines roared to life. Samantha took her seat next to Nora. Their shoulders touched briefly. A current like electricity passed between them. Samantha gasped, but did not pull away. Nora smiled an expression that used all her face muscles, and all 6 eyes. The war changes today. Nora said. The Nexusian said, trust me, Samantha Fox. You will see wonders and horrors before this day ends, but we will face them together. The dropship hit turbulence as it entered the colony planet's atmosphere. Samantha gripped her harness tighter, trying to focus on the mission, not her fear. The other human soldiers looked grim-faced. They had all seen what remained after Void Eater attacks. Nothing but dust and echoes. Nora's skin had continued to darken now almost completely, black absorbing all light around her. Her 6 eyes glowed bright blue, the only color visible on her form. She sat unnaturally still as if conserving energy. Minutes to landing, the pilot called back. The ship's sensors showed multiple Void Eater signatures surrounding the colony central hub. The commander of their unit, Sergeant Lucy Grant, stood addressing the team. Keep tight formation. Protect the Nexusian allies at all costs. Their abilities are our best weapon against the Void Eaters. Samantha felt Nora's gaze on her. The Nexusian's abilities remained partly classified. Even soldiers fighting alongside them knew only what they needed to know. Samantha wondered what Nora would reveal on the battlefield below. The dropship landed with a hard jolt, doors opening to chaos. The sky above the colony swirled with unnatural darkness. Void Eaters moving through the air like living shadows. Buildings stood, damaged but mostly intact, which meant the attack was still in early stages. There might be survivors. Move out, Grant ordered. The team deployed in practiced formation. 3 Nexusians, including Nora, positioned in the center of the human soldiers. They moved toward the colony's main complex, where life signs still registered on their scanners. The first Void Eaters appeared as they approached the central building. Dark shapes like oil smoke with glowing red centers. They moved fast surrounding the team. Conventional weapons had limited effect on them. Human soldiers fired pulse rifles that disrupted their form temporarily, but did not destroy them. Then Nora and the other Nexusians stepped forward. Their now black skin seemed to ripple with energy. Nora raised her hands, and from them extended what looked like threads of pure light. She moved with impossible speed, weaving the light into nets that she cast at the nearest Void Eaters. When the light nets touched the shadow creatures, they shrieked a sound that hurt human ears. The Void Eaters writhed, then collapsed into themselves, disappearing entirely. The humans stared in amazement. The Nexusians had never demonstrated this ability in previous joint missions. Keep moving, Nora commanded, her voice deeper than normal. We cannot maintain this form for long. They pushed forward toward the colony center, the Nexusians clearing a path through the void. Eaters with their light weaving. Samantha stayed close to Nora, protecting her flanks. With conventional fire, each light casting seemed to drain the Nexusian, her movements slowing slightly afterward. They reached the main colony building. Its doors sealed in emergency lockdown. Colony survivors detected inside, Grant's scanner reported. Approximately 20 life signs. Samantha felt hope rise. Her cousin might be alive. Nora looked at her, sensing her emotion. The Nexusian placed a hand on the sealed door. Her black skin seemed to flow onto the metal surface, spreading across it like liquid. Then the door mechanisms clicked and released. The colonists inside had barricaded themselves in the central command room. They looked terrified when the soldiers entered, weapons raised, but relief followed when they recognized human uniforms. Samantha scanned the faces, looking for her cousin. When she spotted him in the corner holding his small daughter, tears came to her eyes. He was alive. His wife stood beside him, looking injured but standing. "Eric," Samantha called out. Her cousin looked up in shock. Samantha, she wanted to run to him but stayed in formation. They needed to evacuate everyone quickly. Grant organized the evacuation, calling for additional dropships. The colonists would need to be checked for Void Eater contamination, but they were alive. That alone was a victory as they waited for extraction. Samantha noticed Nora standing apart from the others. The Nexusian skin was slowly returning to its normal purple color, but she seemed weakened. Her 6 eyes half closed. Samantha approached. "Her, is this what you meant about your people fighting the Void Eaters longer than humans have existed?" The light weaving. Nora nodded slowly. "Our species evolved to fight them. Our skin can absorb and redirect energy, including light. When we transform, we can create weapons that disrupt their existence, but it costs us greatly. Each casting burns our life energy. Are you saying it shortens your life?" Samantha asked, horrified. "A small price to pay for victory." Nora replied, "We heal most of the damage, with time and proper care." Samantha wanted to ask more, but the extraction ships arrived. They needed to move. The colonists were loaded first, then the soldiers. Nora needed help, walking now, her energy severely depleted. Samantha supported her, feeling how light the tall alien woman was despite her size. As they boarded the ship, Void Eaters regrouped for another attack, their shadows darkening the sky. The pilots rushed. The launch sequence were not going to make it, Grant said grimly. "Too many of them now." Nora straightened, pulling away from Samantha. "I can buy us time," she said. "No," Samantha protested. "You're too weak." The Nexusian ignored her, moving to the ship's open door. Her body began to darken again, preparing for transformation. "Nora, please." Samantha reached for her. The alien woman turned, her 6 eyes meeting Samantha's. "I will return to you," she promised. Then she leapt from the ship onto the colony surface below, from the rising ship. Samantha watched in awe as Nora transformed fully, her body becoming a beacon of gathered light. Then, with a motion like a dancer spinning, Nora released the light in all directions, a wave that pushed back the Void Eaters, clearing a path for the ship's escape. The last glimpse Samantha had was of Nora collapsing too, her knees on the surface below. Before the ship doors closed and they accelerated toward the safety of orbit, Samantha stood frozen, staring at the closed door. Grant approached, putting a hand on her shoulder. She made her choice. "Soldier," Grant said, softly. "We honor it by completing the mission." In the ship medical bay, Samantha found her cousin and his family. She hugged him fiercely, then met her little niece properly for the first time. The girl had her father's eyes and a quiet strength in her gaze. "What were those aliens fighting with you?" Eric asked as medics treated his wife's injuries. "I've never seen anything like it." "Nexusians," Samantha said. "They joined our fight 3 months ago. This is the first time they've shown this ability, at least, that I know of." His daughter looked up at Samantha with curious eyes. "The purple lady who jumped," she said in her small voice. "She was beautiful." Samantha felt her throat tighten. Yes, she was. The ship shuddered as it broke atmosphere, heading for the fleet in orbit. Samantha checked her comm unit, hoping for news from the surface, but there was nothing. No report on Nora or any Nexusians who might have remained behind. She closed her eyes, seeing again the image of Nora standing tall against the darkness, her promise echoing, "I will return to you." 3 days passed with no word from the surface, the colony planet now designated as quarantine zone. No ships permitted to return until command confirmed all Void Eaters neutralized. Samantha threw herself into work, caring for the rescued colonists, helping them adjust to life aboard the military vessel. She avoided the Nexusian areas of the ship, unable to face them, without thinking of Nora on. The 4th day, Captain Peters called Samantha to the bridge. "Sergeant Fox," the captain said, as Samantha entered and saluted. "The Nexusian High Commander requests your presence in their medical bay. Normally we would not allow this, but they were quite insistent." Samantha's heart raced. "Is it about Nora, Ambassador Nora, Captain?" Peters nodded. "There was a rescue mission we were not informed about beforehand. Nexusian specialists retrieved their people from the surface last night. They have their own ways of fighting that they don't always share with us. Is she alive?" Samantha asked, unable to keep the emotion from her voice. "You should see for yourself," the captain replied. The Nexusian section of the ship felt different. The air carried a sweet scent like flowers after rain, the lighting softer, designed for their sensitive eyes. Samantha was met by a Nexusian male, his skin a lighter purple than Nora's. "She saved many lives," the Nexusian said without introduction, human and Nexusian alike. The light weaving she performed was exceptional even by our standards. "We did not expect her to survive, but she did," Samantha said. It wasn't a question. The Nexusian led her through curved corridors to their medical facility. Unlike the sterile white of human medical bays, this room glowed with soft blue light. Pools of clear liquid replaced beds. Several Nexusians floated in these pools, their skin slowly regaining color. In the largest pool at the center, Nora floated, her once black skin now a pale lavender. Her 6 eyes closed, her silver hair spreading around her like a halo. "She lives," the Nexusian guide explained, "but the healing will take time. Her life energy was nearly depleted. We have never seen one of our kind expend so much and survive." She must have had powerful motivation. Samantha approached the pool, standing at its edge. She wanted to reach out to touch Nora, but held back, unsure of the protocol. "You may speak to her," the guide said. "She can hear you, though she cannot yet respond." When they were alone, Samantha knelt beside the pool. "You kept your promise," she said softly. "You came back." She watched Nora's face for any sign of response, seeing nothing. She continued, "Anyway, I wanted to thank you. My cousin and his family are safe because of you. 23 colonists survived. Everyone says it's a miracle. Usually no one survives. Void Eater attacks." Samantha fell silent for a moment, then spoke again, softer, more personal. "Captain Peters says, your people requested me specifically. Why would they do that? What am I to you?" Nora, one of Nora's eyes opened slowly, then another, the other. 4 remained closed. She could not speak, but her gaze fixed on Samantha with unmistakable recognition. Samantha felt tears form. "I was so angry when you jumped. I thought you sacrificed yourself needlessly. But you knew they would come for you, didn't you, your people? They knew how to find you." Nora blinked once slowly. "Is that a yes?" Samantha asked, another slow blink. "So you never intended to die out there? You just needed to buy time?" Blink. Samantha smiled through her tears, then rested her hand at the pool's edge. "I have so many questions for when you're better. So many things I want to know about you, your abilities, your people. Why you came to my room that night." Nora's hand moved slightly in the pool, her fingers extending toward Samantha's, but too weak to reach her. The Nexusian guide returned. "She needs rest," he said. "The commander asks that you return tomorrow. Your presence seems to stimulate her healing response." Samantha nodded and stood reluctantly. "I will be back tomorrow," she promised. "Nora, then every day until you're well." As Samantha left the Nexusian medical bay, she felt lighter than she had in days. Nora was alive, damaged but healing. And somehow Samantha was important to that healing. Over the next 2 weeks, Samantha visited daily watching Nora's progress. The pale lavender deepened gradually toward her natural purple. Her eyes opened one by one until all 6 were alert and tracking movement. Her strength returned enough to sit up in the pool, then eventually to leave. The first time Nora spoke after her healing, it was Samantha's name, just that simple and soft. Her voice still weak but clear. They developed a routine Samantha would visit after her shift. They would talk at first, just for minutes, as Nora tired. Quickly. Then longer as her strength returned, Samantha learned about Nexusian culture, their homeworld, their connection to light and energy. "You asked why I came to your room that night," Nora said when she could finally stand again, walking slowly. "Around the medical bay with Samantha beside her, I felt a connection to you. From the first mission we shared. My people call it soul echoing. When 2 beings resonate on the same energy frequency, it rarely happens between different species. I was curious, drawn to you. I wanted to understand. And now," Samantha asked, "do you understand?" Nora stopped walking, turning to face Samantha, all 6 eyes focused intently. "I understand that I was willing to expend my life energy to ensure your survival. That my healing accelerates in your presence, that when you are not here I count the moments until you return. Is that not understanding?" Samantha felt her face flush, unsure how to respond to such direct honesty. Humans rarely spoke so plainly about their feelings. The ship alert system interrupted them. "All personnel report to stations. Fleet Command detecting Void Eater ships approaching. Unknown configuration. Prepare for possible engagement." Nora straightened, her still thin body tensing. "I must join my people." "You are not fully recovered," Samantha protested. "We cannot choose when war comes, only how we face it." Nora replied. She reached out, touching Samantha's face with slender fingers. "That you care for my well-being gives me strength." Sergeant Fox Samantha covered Nora's hand with her own. "Please be careful." A smile formed on Nora's face, using all the muscles around her 6 eyes. "I have much to live for now. I will take no unnecessary risks." They parted at the corridor junction. Samantha to the human battle. Stations Nora to the Nexusian command center. Both knowing that whatever came next, they would face it, changed by their connection. Each stronger for knowing the other waited for their return. The Void Eater ships appeared nothing like their previous vessels. Instead of the dark, twisted shapes humans had come to recognize, these new ships gleamed with an unnatural light. Their movements erratic, yet purposeful. The fleet commanders ordered defensive positions as they analyzed this new threat. Samantha joined her unit in the deployment bay, preparing for possible boarding defense or space combat. The mood was tense. The soldiers had seen what happened at the colony. This new enemy configuration heightened everyone's anxiety. Commander Harris briefed the assembled troops. "Our Nexusian allies believe these ships represent a new evolution of the Void Eaters. They absorb energy like their smaller forms, but on a massive scale. Standard weapons may prove ineffective." A murmur went through the troops. No one asked the obvious question: if weapons wouldn't work, how could they fight? "The Nexusians have proposed a joint operation." Harris continued. "They will attempt to disrupt the Void Eater ships, using their light-weaving abilities while our forces protect them from any enemy that breaks through. We need volunteers to pair with Nexusian lightweavers. This mission carries significant risk." Samantha raised her hand immediately. Several other soldiers who had fought alongside Nexusians did the same. "You understand the danger," Harris said, looking at each volunteer. "These ships could drain your life energy as well as your weapons. The Nexusians can offer some protection, but it's limited." Samantha thought of Nora, still recovering yet preparing to fight. Would she be among the Lightweavers? Despite her concerns, Samantha knew she would volunteer regardless. There was too much at stake. The volunteers were directed to a separate briefing room, where several Nexusians waited. One stepped forward, taller than the others with deep blue skin and 8 eyes instead of 6, an elder by their standards. "I am Commander Varak." He introduced himself. "Each of you will pair with one of our light weavers. You will be their anchor, their protection while they channel energy against our enemy. The bond between you must be absolute. Any hesitation, Any break in focus could be fatal to both. The human soldiers looked at each other nervously as the implications sank in. Your Lightweaver will establish a temporary mental connection, Varek continued. This allows them to draw on your physical strength while they focus on manipulating energy. It will feel strange, but you must not resist. A door opened and more Nexusians entered the room. Nora among them. Her purple skin still paler than normal, her movements careful but determined. Her eyes found Samantha immediately. The pairings will be assigned based on compatibility. Varek said. Nora stepped directly to Samantha, placing a six-fingered hand on her shoulder. I request this human, she said formally. Varek studied them both, his 8 eyes narrowing. You are not fully recovered, Ambassador Nora. The strain could kill you. I am strong enough, Nora replied. And we are already connected. She feels my presence as I feel hers. Samantha wanted to object to keep Nora safe, but she recognized the determination in the alien woman's stance. Varek seemed to sense the unspoken communication between them. Very well, he conceded, but exercise extreme caution. The new vessels show energy patterns we have not encountered before. The paired teams were given specialized equipment, armored suits for the humans designed to resist energy drain, focusing crystals for the Nexusians to amplify their light weaving. They would deploy in small craft approaching the Void Eater ships, while the main fleet provided cover fire as they prepared. Samantha helped Nora adjust her equipment. The Nexusian still moved with some stiffness. Aoyu should not have volunteered, Samantha said quietly. You need more time to heal. Nora touched Samantha's face, a gesture that had become familiar between them. In war, we use what strength we have when it is needed, not when it is convenient. The mental link, Samantha asked, changing the subject. What will it feel like? Like nothing you have experienced, Nora answered. I will be in your mind, you in mine. Our energies intertwined. It is intimate, by my people's standards. It is considered. She paused, searching for the right human word. It is how mates connect. It is sacred, Samantha felt heat rise to her face. Oh, I didn't realize. Does this disturb you? Nora asked, her 6 eyes blinking in sequence. No, Samantha answered honestly, surprising herself. Just unexpected. Their deployment craft was small, designed for speed and maneuverability. 4 human Nexusian pairs would approach the largest Void Eater vessel. While other teams targeted the smaller ships before boarding, Nora took Samantha's hands in hers. In case we do not return, she said, I want you to know that meeting you changed me. Your courage, your compassion, they are rare qualities among any species. I am honored to fight alongside you. Samantha felt emotion tighten her throat, words failing her instead. She leaned forward and pressed her forehead to Nora's, an impulse she couldn't explain. A connection she needed. They launched moments later, the small craft darting between larger fleet vessels toward the glowing Void Eater ships as they approached. Samantha could see the strange energy patterns rippling across the enemy vessel's surface, like watching electricity flow through water. Commander Varek's voice came over the comm. Prepare for boarding, deploy in 5. Nora turned to Samantha. We must establish the link now, while we are still safe. She extended her hands. Samantha took them, feeling the smooth texture of Nora's skin against hers. Close your eyes, Nora instructed. Focus on my voice. Samantha obeyed. The sounds of the ship faded. The tension in her body eased. Then she felt it. A gentle pressure at the edge of her mind, like someone knocking at a door asking permission to enter. Let me in, Nora's voice whispered, not in her ears, but in her mind. Samantha relaxed, imagining the door opening, and suddenly she wasn't alone. A presence warm and bright filled her thoughts. Emotions not her own flowed through her. Courage, determination, and something else. Something that felt like love. Her eyes opened in shock, finding Nora's 6 eyes watching. Her is that yes? Nora confirmed. We cannot hide our true feelings in the link. It would be both. The craft shuddered as it attached to the Void Eater's ship. No more time for words. They moved to the airlock, weapons ready. The door opened, revealing the interior of the enemy vessel like the shadow creatures they had fought on the ground. The inside of the ship glowed with painful brightness, energy pulsing through what looked like veins in the walls. Gravity felt wrong, lighter than normal. The air shimmered with particles that sparked when they touched exposed skin. Move quickly, Varric ordered. The other teams will create diversions. We target the central core. They advanced through twisting corridors that seemed to shift and change. Nora and the other Nexusians began to transform, their skin darkening as they absorbed the ambient energy. The humans stayed close, protecting their partners. Samantha felt strange sensations through the mental link, Nora's perception overlaying her own. She could sense the energy flows around them, could feel how Nora was gathering power for the coming confrontation. A shadow moved ahead, different from the Void Eaters they had fought before. This one had form structure, like a skeleton made of darkness and light combined. It turned, sensing them, its center pulsing with recognition. Void Eater Guardian, Varric warned. Stay back. The Guardian launched toward them, moving faster than seemed possible, its form stretching and contracting as it flew through the air. Samantha raised her weapon, firing rapidly. The energy pulses passed through the creature, having no effect. The Nexusians moved as one, stepping in front of their human partners, their darkened forms absorbing light. Nora at the center, her body now completely black, except for her glowing eyes. She raised her hands, threads of light extending from her fingers. The other Nexusians did the same, their combined efforts creating a web of energy that stretched across the corridor. The Guardian hit the light web and shrieked, its form distorting but not dissipating. It pushed against the barrier. The Nexusians strained. To hold it, Samantha could feel Nora's effort through their link, feel the pain as the creature fought back. Nora is drawing too much power, Varric shouted. Sergeant Fox, stabilize her. Samantha didn't know what that meant, but through the link she sensed what Nora needed. She stepped forward, placing her hands on Nora's shoulders, offering her strength. The connection between them flared brighter. Nora's light web intensified. The Guardian creature twisted one final time, then collapsed into itself, disappearing, with a sound like thunder. The corridor ahead now clear, but the walls pulsed faster, as if the ship itself was aware of their presence. Nora swayed slightly, Samantha steadying her. Through their link, she could feel the Nexusians' exhaustion, but also her determination. We must continue, Nora said, her voice strained. Our scans indicate the core is ahead. The other teams are in position. They moved deeper into the vessel, the corridors narrowing, the light becoming more intense. Samantha kept one hand on Nora at all times, maintaining physical contact, strengthening their connection. They entered a vast chamber, the heart of the ship. A sphere of pure energy suspended in the center, pulsing with power. Energy streams flowed from it to the wall ceiling, floor-feeding the entire vessel. According to our analysis, Varric said, this is a living ship, a single giant Void Eater that has evolved to consume energy on a planetary scale. The core is its heart. We must disrupt it. More Guardians appeared, surrounding the chamber, their forms more solid than the first, several dozen at least. The human soldiers formed a perimeter, weapons ready, though they knew conventional arms would have little effect. The Nexusians gathered in the center, directly beneath the energy sphere, their bodies now completely dark, absorbing all available light. They joined hands, forming a circle. Now Varric commanded. The Nexusians began to sing, their voices harmonizing in ways human vocal cords could not produce. The sound vibrated through the chamber. Through their mental link, Samantha could feel Nora reaching for the energy around them, gathering it, reshaping it. The Guardians attacked, moving toward the circle of Nexusians. The human soldiers intercepted them, using their bodies as shields. Taking hits that left burns on their protective suits, Samantha fought beside her comrades, keeping the Guardians from reaching Nora. Though each blow that landed sapped her strength, Through their connection, Samantha could sense the Nexusians' plan. They would redirect the ship's own energy back upon itself, creating a feedback loop that would disrupt its function, but to do so required perfect synchronization, perfect focus. A guardian broke through the human line, heading directly for Nora. Samantha lunged, tackling the creature, its form burning her skin even through her suit. The pain intense, but she held on, keeping it from Nora, keeping it from breaking the circle. The Nexusian song reached a crescendo, their joined hands now glowing. With collected power, Nora at the circle's edge, connected to Samantha through their mental link, drew on her strength, her determination, her will to survive. With a single coordinated movement, the Nexusians released their gathered energy upward toward the core. The light strands connecting, forming a new pattern that surrounded the pulsing heart of the ship. The core flickered, then began to spin faster, energy discharging wildly. The Guardians shrieked in unison, some disappearing, others attacking. With renewed fury, "We must leave," now Varric shouted. "The disruption is beginning. The ship will try to heal itself." The human soldiers regrouped, helping their Nexusian partners who were weakened from the energy working. They began retreating toward the entry point, fighting Guardians as they went, through their link. Samantha felt Nora's consciousness fading, the effort too great, the drain on her still healing body too much. She caught Nora as she collapsed, lifting the tall alien woman in her arms. "Stay with me," Samantha said, both aloud and through their connection. "I didn't come this far to lose you now." The ship shuddered violently, sections of corridor collapsing behind them, energy discharges becoming more erratic, the disruption spreading faster than anticipated. They reached their craft. The other teams already aboard, casualties evident, but most had survived. Samantha carried Nora inside, laying her gently on the floor, the Nexusian skin slowly returning to purple. Her eyes closed. All 6 of them. The craft detached from the Void Eater ship, accelerating away. As they gained distance, they saw the effects of their mission. The massive vessel pulsed with uncontrolled energy, its surface fracturing, light pouring from the brakes. Then, with a silent flash, it collapsed into itself, creating a brief star-like burst before disappearing entirely. The other Void Eater ships seemed to recoil, retreating from the fleet's position, disappearing into the darkness of space. Victory calls came through the communication systems, but Samantha heard none of it, her focus entirely on Nora. The mental link between them fading as the Nexusians slipped deeper into unconsciousness. "Don't leave me," Samantha whispered. "Please." In the medical bay aboard the main ship, human and Nexusian doctors worked together to stabilize the injured Nora's condition. Critical. Her life energy dangerously depleted. Commander Varric himself overseeing her treatment. She drew too much power. He explained to Samantha, "The connection between you likely kept her alive, but her recovery is uncertain." Samantha refused to leave Nora's side. She sat beside the healing pool, holding the Nexusian's hand. The mental link gone now. But she spoke anyway, telling Nora stories of Earth, of her childhood, of the places she wanted to show her when the war ended. 3 days passed, Nora's condition unchanged. Samantha slept little, ate only when forced, waiting for a sign, for hope. On the 4th day, as Samantha dozed in her chair beside the pool, she felt a gentle touch on her mind, familiar now warm. She opened her eyes, finding all 6 of Nora's eyes open, looking at her. "You stayed?" Nora said, her voice barely audible. Samantha smiled, tears forming. "Where else would I go?" The Nexusian squeezed her hand weakly. "The connection between us. It remains even without the formal link. I can feel you, your emotions, your concern, your love." Samantha finished, for the first time saying aloud what had grown between them. Yes, Nora agreed that most of all. Samantha leaned closer. "I don't know how this works. A human and a Nexusian. Our worlds, our biologies, our lives. They are so different. Nora made the sound like bells that Samantha now recognized as laughter. Different, yet here we are, connected across stars, across species. Life finds unexpected paths. Sergeant Fox Captain Peters visited later that day, bringing news. The Void Eater fleet had retreated completely. The disruption of their command ship had affected them all. A major victory. The war not over, but perhaps the beginning of its end. He also brought new orders. For both of them. The High Command requests a permanent diplomatic and military liaison between our forces. He explained Ambassador Nora has been suggested by the Nexusian leadership, and you, Sergeant Fox, have been recommended to represent human interests. You would work together, bridging our peoples, strengthening our alliance. Samantha looked at Nora, now sitting up in the healing pool, her color improving, her strength returning. The alien woman nodded slightly, giving her approval. We accept, Samantha said. When Nora finally left the medical bay weeks later, Samantha was waiting. Their new quarters prepared, a space designed for both human and Nexusian comfort. Their joint assignment, already beginning diplomatic meetings, strategic planning, cultural exchange. But in private moments they continued to explore the connection between them, the way their minds touched even without the battle link, the way their different biologies responded to each other, the way love translated across species. One night as they watched the stars from their viewport, Nora traced patterns on Samantha's skin with light-gathering fingertips. Our peoples have a saying, she said, when souls echo across the void, the universe itself listens. I never understood until I found you. Samantha smiled, leaning against the tall purple form of her partner. Neither of us was looking for this, she said. But here we are. Nora blinked, all six eyes in sequence, her expression now familiar to Samantha as contentment. Perhaps that is the greatest discovery of this war. Not how different we are, but how alike our capacity to connect, to change, to love across boundaries, thought impossible. Outside their window, the fleet moved through space, humans and Nexusians working together against a common enemy. Inside their quarters, two beings from different worlds had found something unexpected. A connection, a home, a future together no matter what came next.